Hello, this is a brief explanation of the fact that if we want to know if Paul was a subject of prophecy in the Law and Prophets, the name for him in Hebrew would have been Saul, and that word could be identically interpreted to be Sheol, and it could be a mistake. That could be not what was meant, and I'll explain that in this short video. So how do we know Paul's name? His Hebrew name is Saul, because it says in Acts 13:9, Saul, who is also called Paul. Paul is a Roman name, Paulus, and it comes from the Latin word Pauxililis, which means least, and Saul is a Anglified or English way of saying Shaul in Hebrew. So that is a Hebrew name, and since Paul was born in Tarsus of a family there, they had Roman citizenship from birth, so even though they were from Hebrew origins, they would use Shaul for their Hebrew name, but they had to have a Roman name, and that name had to be obviously Paul, or Paulus in Latin. Okay, so why do we know we're unable to know just from reading the word on the page whether it's Shaul or Sheol, and you have to look at context. So this article here in the Judaism Stack Exchange, an expert answered the question, is what's the difference in the appearance of the word Shaul and Sheol in the original scripture, and the answer was, quote, ignoring vowelization, Shaul and Sheol is spelled the same way. This is how it's spelled identically in the true original text. And what happened later is vowelization was added. And how much later was that? These diacritical signs that indicate were used to represent vowels, so they indicated vowels. They were developed in the early Middle Ages. So we're talking many centuries after Christ, and of course more than a millennium after Habakkuk or Isaiah or other texts actually speak of either Shaul or Sheol. But we cannot simply say that if the translators tell us it's Sheol and they tell us it's Shaul, we can't say it's Saul and we can't say it's Sheol unless we know the context. Okay, so that is a short and brief explanation of the similarities of the representation of Sheol or Shaul. Okay, hope that helps.